So remember that thing I said about doing grinding between streams? I don't think anybody will be surprised to find out that that did in fact not actually happen. So our team still consists of these levels. Let's go over them real quickly because I frankly have forgotten myself. We have Kyle the Shroomish with Mega Drain, Tackle, Sunspore and Lead Sheet. We have Hannah the Combi with Gust and Sweeten, and God, this thing is falling behind. And we have Simba the Lidleo with Tackle, Leah, Amber, and Hatbot. We have Anakin Drillbur with Fury Swipes, Metal Claw, Rapid Spin, and Mod Slab. We have Wonder Rolled with Growl, Confusion, and Double Team. We have Randall the Purloin with Fury Swipes, Pursuit, Assist, and Scent Attack. Also, Dominic is here. Welcome. Dark Life is here. What else is new? Dominic is here. That is something new. I have no idea where we're going. But what I do know is that I think we probably want to level up Hannah a little bit. Because once Hannah evolves, which I think is at level like 30, 30, 20, 30, 25? Somewhere along those lines. It actually becomes powerful. Which, until then, it will not be. So... Anyway, it's been a week. I don't know what to talk about. I don't have any topics of discussion, honestly. So, do I have strength? Wait, do I? I might. Hold on a moment. I only have Rock Tomb. Clearly I don't have strength, so we can't actually go up north. Which surely means that we must have to either go... what? Wait, what? What happened there? I'm the bane to the existence of vloggers, so a goal to all of you. That is actually... more accurate than I'm willing to admit, especially with through the years. You really made my life a living hell. And if it weren't for you, the series would have been so much easier. And so much less entertaining, obviously, but so much easier for me. And I would have actually, like, looked good playing through those games. Because I probably would have, frankly speaking, if I had just played the vanilla ROMs, I would have won up to, like, Gen 7. Without too much trouble, I think. Because I was crushing those first few generations before we used edited ROMs. So, I must imagine that if we didn't switch to edited ROMs in Gen 3, I would have just won everything. I don't have a ticket. Where the hell do I go? It indeed has been a week. Last stream last Saturday, so indeed a week has passed. We have a new route, which... Oh, that's... I mean, I know this is a ROMhack and not a game, necessarily, so I won't complain too much about this, but that's not ideal, is it? If it weren't for Dominic, then you would have finished the series. I definitely think so, yeah. I think it would have been significantly less interesting and a lot more dull, because I would have mostly only, like, lost a couple of Pokemon a generation rather than a couple of Pokemon per... Oh, that... might be bad. Maybe not. Instead of a couple of Pokemon per gym. But we would have won. Then the question becomes, what is better? Winning in a boring way? Or losing or failing in an interesting way? And since I'm making entertainment here, at least that's the general idea. I don't know if I'm succeeding in that whatsoever. I would argue that losing in an interesting way, in an entertaining way, is much better than winning in a boring way. If I wanted to win in a boring way, I would, like, play League of Legends or something like that. Because, like, as popular of a game as League is, I don't think I've seen a lot of streams or, like, videos even of it. And maybe that is because I'm just not that into it and I don't know much about the game. But usually, like... it's pretty boring content, and the only thing you really like care about is the actual game performance, which that's fine because it's an esport, and that's with most esports and regular sports, as a matter of fact. If you're not that big into it, I got an old roll. Wow, no, don't take that out of context. If you're not that into it, it's going to be boring, yeah. But that means that it doesn't have entertainment value, like, inherent to it. Then again, you could say the same thing about things that I would argue do have inherent entertainment value just because you're, like, not into, like, that genre of, like, movie, for instance, right? So, maybe there's no such thing as inherent entertainment value. Maybe. As a second person on the entirety of YouTube. Not a lot of people do a Generations series, so I would be kind of proud of being able to actually finish one. I think I might be... I'm not saying I'm the channel with the most amount of attempts, because I don't know how many you have. But I would argue that, if not the first place of, like, Generation run-throughs, I'm definitely second place on all of YouTube for people who have attempted and started a Generation series for Pokemon. Because I think I've done 4 or 5 at this point. Like, one of which ended in Generation 1, I think, to be fair. And only the last of which was a Nuzlocke. But we've made it to Generation 3 and 4, like, at least 2 times. Well, 1 time, respectively, for each. I think I've made it to Gen 3 twice. And obviously I've made it to Gen 5 in the most recent one. The friends and enemies you made along the way is better. Mostly enemies, not gonna lie. Winning by screwing others over in a race format, that is the most fun, yeah. So someone wins in by a boring way, but the other people lose in an interesting way. I wouldn't even say that's necessarily a boring way, because you might not... I guess if you're just following the one perspective, right? If you could do that in a race format, which you can't, that might be boring. But still, then it'd be fun to just like be on board with absolutely destroying the other people and just laughing together at how much everybody's screwed over. So I would even argue that that is not winning in a boring way. It's winning in a way in which you personally don't lose a lot of Pokemon, but it's still an interesting way. You are second. I am third when it comes to generations. The first channel named something something. A lot more views. Currently in Gen 6 on a indefinite hiatus. But how many have they done? Also, an indefinite hiatus is just cancellation, I think. Like, at that point, if the hiatus ends, you're not, like... You're reviving a series at that point, because... I probably should have switched out there. Because that series is dead. Like, anything that's, like... Depending on your upload schedule, actually. I was going to say, anything that's not uploaded for longer than a month is dead. But that's based on a upload schedule that at least relies on like a once a week kind of upload. If you only upload once a month as is, I'd say if you don't upload for a year, it's more than that. And if you're Team 4-star, take all the time you fucking need. Talking about Team 4-star, they actually like did a thing, and I kind of liked it. I really liked it, as a matter of fact. They have done how many? But it's more successful. Oh, it's more successful. Yeah, now, I mean, in the amount of times they've done it, I might be either the first or second on the entirety of YouTube that I am aware of. In the amount of views, I'm probably not second. I know for a fact that there's at least one other Generation series which has ended. Like, it's died. It hasn't finished. But it did get a lot more views. So, it's kind of a rare project. I don't see a lot of people taking it on. For a very good reason. Because it's pretty hellish to do. What kind of moves do you have again? You do not have anything that is useful to me. Yeah, I'll just go into Simba. When it comes to deal Game Master, then yes. In total, I've done 5 generations. Casual, Nuzlocke, RNG, Chaos. Don't count it. Sure. Soul Link and Survival Lock. I don't know how many I have done as a thing. It's either 4 or 5, I think. Only one of which was not in a race format. So it's kind of like how are you gonna count that compared to the other ones, and it's got an entirely different rule set as well. At least I think so. In the other generations we didn't have carryover of Pokemon. In the other generation series we did it was just play them all back to back to back to back as normal games, but the intent was racing. So the carryover of Pokemon, I think I introduced to make it more than just 5 series back to back to back, to have something to like intertwine them together, you know. This could be bad. That actually deals a decent amount of damage. Good. A very good reason, a lot of time people are not crazy enough to do it. Yeah, pretty much that. Especially... Doubly especially, I would actually say, because if you start a project like that, your channel, like, people on YouTube have stopped caring about, like, long-term series, so your channel is just gonna fucking die, because it's gonna be, like, fucking 200 episodes, and people are gonna stop watching after episode 5. So, Takedown might actually not be bad. Better than Leah. So, it's definitely something that you probably just shouldn't... Oh, that was a rival fight. I feel like I'm in a pretty good position if I don't even notice that a rival fight is a rival fight. Maybe I'm not on the level. Maybe it's a good thing that I didn't do any grinding. I know the level curve in this game is batshit insane, so I'm probably going to be underleveled very, very quickly again. But as of right now, I feel like the trainers I'm fighting aren't actually too much trouble for me to deal with. So, who knows? Give me something to complain about. Because again, that is kind of like the whole point of this. Would you call this a show, or would you just call this rambling time? Like, could rambling time be a show? I used to have a live streamed show I called The Bullshit Show. It ran for a total of 2 episodes. And it was pretty much just a podcast without any... It was a Let's Play. It was just a Let's Play. It was just live streamed Let's Play. Because I think the first time was a podcast. The second time might have been me grinding in Kingdom Hearts 1 to get to level 100. I'm thinking? I don't know. After some time, you will only have rival fights. That sounds exciting? Question mark. Maybe? That's either the best thing in the universe because you don't have easy fights, or it's the worst thing in the universe because you don't have easy fights. I don't remember the effectiveness against metal. That's not what I want. I want to use Metal Claw. It's also not metal type, it's steel type. Man, oh god, I'm an idiot. Did you run out of bullshit to talk about? I'm still here. I just figured at some point, I mostly just stopped doing that because it was a fun idea for a while, and then I just stopped doing it. Much like I do with a lot of other series. I just start it, and then I lose interest, and I just stop doing it. Mostly, I never run out of bullshit, because I'm still here. That was what I was talking about. Yeah, thank you. No, I don't run out of bullshit. I never run out of bullshit. My entire life is like one big pile of bullshit. And I'm proud of it. I'm really not. How am I missing you so much? Thank you. But every video and vlogger game is a bullshit. Exactly, there you go. Everything I make is just a stinking pile of steaming bullshit. Which is very impressive because I'm not a cow last time I checked. So I don't know how I managed that. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a brain fried mode because as I talked about in the Discord a couple of days ago, I had 2 days back to back where I worked like 10 hours one day and then 9 hours the other day. Then I took a bit of an easy day yesterday, and then today I edited 2 videos. One about a couple of cats, because cats always work on the internet. And one about albino animals, which was actually very interesting because the majority of that video was about a kangaroo, an albino kangaroo. And that made me realize I fucking love kangaroos. and we talked about this in Discord a little bit as well. There's no real kangaroo Pokemon, and fuck you. And I think they should change that. I think Gen 9 should be based in Australia. We should have new spider Pokemon. We should have like big, like scary spider Pokemon. We should have a kangaroo. We should have an emu. With very, very high special defense, because emus are bulletproof, apparently. We should have pretty much everything dangerous in Australia. There's so many opportunities there for Pokemon, because these animals are so ridiculous as is, Australian animals, that you don't even need to like make them more ridiculous. You can just put literally a PNG. Well, it's a 3D game now, so you have to 3D model. But if it were a 2D game, you could literally just put a PNG of any given Australian animal into Pokemon, and it would fucking work, because these animals are ridiculous. Have you seen a kangaroo up close? A kangaroo looks like a camel, a rat, and a human person all got together, had a really freaky night, and then a baby was born, and it became a fucking kangaroo. And I love them. They are the best. Like, when they're just standing around, they're great. When they walk, like, their hopping is the fucking best thing ever. Also, let me close the window, because apparently the window is open. And that makes for some noise pollution, which I don't like. So there I go, ignoring chat again. So, will we ever see Let's Play of all the Final Fantasy games? I have Let's Plays of Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the channel already. They're very old, I do not recommend you watch them. But I started doing that, not as a through the years series, because that would be insane, but I did want to play through all of them. And I stopped after 4, because I don't know why, actually. Maybe I just never completed 4, maybe that's the issue? That sounds reasonable. But yeah, especially since there's so many of them, even if I like don't do the entirety of the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, because that is the thing, and all the like side games, which is a shame, because that means that I wouldn't be playing Crisis Core, and I fucking love Crisis Core. I will say this over and over again until it happens. After they're done doing the Final Fantasy 7 remake, which I got for a discount, and the month after that, it was free on PlayStation Plus. So I paid like $25 for a $60 game, which is only part of the actual game, which I could have gotten free if I had waited a month. Why even make that sale if next month the game is going to be free for PSN? I am upset. But I own the game, so I'm thinking about doing a retrospective of that sometime soon. Probably around the time the next episode is gonna drop, like a month before or something like that. You are a fairy type, aren't you? You are, okay. But after I've done that with that, I want the same style gameplay remake of Crisis Core, because I really, really, really like Crisis Core, because I like Sephiroth, and Sephiroth is like a big deal there. Angeal is not a bad character. Matter of fact, I actually kind of like Angeal, and Genesis is also. They're all three such interesting characters, and with a remake they might be able to like expand on it a little bit, because it is not a very like deep game at all. But I'm thinking with a remake, like adding a couple of cutscenes here and there, maybe an extra side mission. You don't even have to make it mandatory, just like for those of us that do want to explore it, like add a little bit of extra background lore for those characters and you have yourself an amazing game. You could even do it episodic if you want to milk it like that again. Just like do an episode for Zack before he gets the boss sword, and then do one after Angeal dies for the rest of the game, when like there is even a time skip there. You could feasibly make it 2 different games if you wanted to. That would be really shitty of you to do, Square, but you could do that, and it would make like narrative sense to a certain extent. Because Angeal, as the final boss of the first game, again with a little bit more build up to it, and a couple of changes to the boss fight itself, would work. That would definitely just straight up work. And then you would have... Oh, that would actually work really well, because then you would have Angeal as the boss fight of the first game. The final boss fight. Then you would have Genesis as the... It's Genesis, right? The dude with a red coat. Anyway, as the final boss fight of the second game, and then you have Sephiroth as the final boss fight of actually Final Fantasy VII. But there's also a Sephiroth fight in Crisis Core, actually, now I think about it. So that kind of throws a wrench into that a little bit. I've gone on a rant again. Vlogger games or bullshit games? It's more so bullshit games. ID, what if after every video you include a bullshit show? That would be so much goddamn work to do that retrospectively for like the... I think I have about 2,000 videos published, so I'm not going to do that. You're a bull because you're a guy. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but cow isn't just a female name, right? It's a species name. And then the bull is specifically the male. But I think if you're just referring to the species as a whole, male and female together, non-binary cows, whatever. I think that's just called cows. Again, correct me if I'm wrong there. Don't give me an ID for a dumb broken with all PNG sprites. Please do. If you want to waste your time replacing every Pokemon in the game with a very low resolution PNG of a real world animal that looks like that Pokemon, I might actually play that. Because that would be funny. Like, it would be way better than the version where everything has been changed into like little anime girls that are wearing like pajamas or onesies of the Pokemon, which that's just weird. Pokemon PNG edition would be much better. I would actually like that as a meme ROM. It would take too much time, so please don't actually do that. Because it would require a lot of time to do that. But that would be fun. Are you on live chat? I am on live chat. I'm not on top chat. I was just ranting, as I do. Our ID is already there. 3 years Final Fantasy. Do it. How about no? At some point, like, I might go over all the Final Fantasy games in retrospectives again? Question mark? But I feel like a lot of Final Fantasy games, once you've played Final Fantasy 1, for instance, I don't know where the hell I'm going with this. I guess this is where we're going. Sure, I am completely and utterly lost. Once you've played Final Fantasy 1, then Final Fantasy 2 has a couple of different mechanics. Mostly like the level up mechanics in it are very different. Very interesting. It's a kind of leveling up mechanic that you don't really see at all anymore. And I kind of like it because it meant that the moves you use, the moves individually level up. So that means if you use a certain move a lot more, it'll get more powerful. Irrespective of your character getting more or less powerful. And I really like that. So I could talk about some length about that in a Final Fantasy 2 retrospective. Then you have Final Fantasy 3 with, I guess you have the job class system. I don't know if you do in the original, or you do in the DS version. So there's something to talk about there. Final Fantasy 4 is frankly, just Final Fantasy 1, but with an actual story, is what Final Fantasy 4 is. At least the first half of it. It's got a slightly different combat system, admittedly. So, then you have Final Fantasy 5. Well, actually, I guess they are different enough to a certain extent, because Final Fantasy 5, I haven't really played Final Fantasy 5. Because I just wasn't interested. And I think that's why I stopped. Because Final Fantasy V just did not pique my interest one bit. I'm pretty sure that's the reason I stopped doing that. Final Fantasy VI, things become a little bit stale, right? The most that changes there is mostly the story and to a certain extent, the party mechanics. Final Fantasy VII is the first 3D one, but Final Fantasy VII in a lot of ways, other than maybe the materia system, Final Fantasy VII is just Final Fantasy IV with a different story. Mechanically speaking, for 95% of it. So I don't know if I would really have a lot of things to say about games if I want to, not repeat myself. And otherwise, they would just end up being, videos where I end up repeating myself a lot. Final Fantasy VIII, I don't know that well, I must admit. Final Fantasy IX I could talk about a lot because it has that goddamn card game in it. Where the hell do I go? I am so lost. Then Final Fantasy X I can talk a lot about because that is by far my favorite Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy XI is an MMO, so I would skip that because I don't think it's even live anymore. Final Fantasy XII is just Star Wars with bad gameplay. 13 is 13. 14 is a MMO again, and 15 I haven't played. So that is my retrospectives on all of the Final Fantasy games. There you go. Or at least all Sonic games that show in generations. That would include Sonic 06, and I'm not gonna lie, I have considered doing a Sonic 06 Let's Play. It would probably be a live stream, because I would need to be able to vent a lot, and I would need to have an active chat there to be able to keep my sanity playing through. Oh, that route was that short. It felt a lot longer. But I've unironically considered doing a Sonic 06 Let's Play because I own it. I own it for PlayStation 3. Because once upon a time, I was a meme lord, and I saw Sonic 06 for €6. Maybe it was not 6 because that would be a little too perfect. I saw it for not a lot of money. Maybe it was 8, something like that. I was like, yeah, let me buy that because that'll be funny. And then I started playing it, and half an hour in, I wanted to fucking kill myself. So, I've unironically considered doing a Let's Play of that at some point. Well, based on the AVF 7 Remake Episode 2, we will get that's that movie, isn't it? Is it a movie? I don't know. It's not Advent Children, which is, I gotta say, a gorgeous movie. It looks really good. The quality of... What the actual fuck is going on here? Nothing. That's why it felt so long, because I spent half an hour probably running around this part. Advent Children looks really fucking good. And I actually like the addition of Zack. I probably talk to you and get caught that way, right? No. I'm gonna catch up and chat a little bit, just because I feel like I'll probably see something useful. Anime Girls is Uman, that's true. I want to play the Weeb Edition ROM. I think it's only the only FF games I've played are 1 and 2. You haven't played the best. I mean, 2 has interesting level up mechanics, as I said. Go left. Left where? After the first gym, you should get cuts, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't have that, though, is the thing. Like, unless I have to go get it somewhere, and I just forgot, I do not have cut. He is massively loud on Wonder, that is true. I own Sonic 06 as well. Sadly, the CD's, technically DVD, is scratched due to my first launch Xbox 360. Now it is unusable. The less copies of Sonic 06 that are walking in the world, the better it is. Also, I have it for PlayStation, so that's better anyway. Seven Advent Children is the movie you're thinking of. Dirge of Cerberus is the FPS Final Fantasy VII, where Vincent is the main character. That sounds like a thing. Talk to the scientists in the main chamber. I have no idea what all that means. This is according to the walkthrough. That walkthrough is not very thorough, because it just throws a lot of words at me. I'm gonna go back to the city, or at least the town, and see if there's anything I can do. Wait, can I just go south? Did I just take a very long way? I am lost again. There's one thing I'm good at, it's getting lost. Wait, I can go up north here. What is up north? Oh, it's just this village. I'm going to look at a map, which I have a town map in my inventory. I am totally aware of that. Something cave, a route, and caves, and towns, and... Yeah, so the walkthrough isn't really helping, unless if I go into the key item... Yeah, I don't actually have a town map, never mind. Check the map for Plainton Path. Yeah, but it doesn't show route names is the issue, which is... That is a real issue. Like, I think Gen 3 just... Oh, wait a second. It does show it here. So sometimes it sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't. Up north is the North Pole. I did not know that, actually. I feel like if I have to go any further than around these parts here, I mean, I can't. Found it! But I can't get there because I need cut! And then we have something like Barnball's Mediwiki. Yeah, okay, so we go talk to the scientist in the main chamber. So I gotta get back here is what I'm hearing. Oh, god damn it. Is what I'm hearing. Is that I need to go here. I have a Pokenav. That is very much correct. That does not help me. It gives me a different font. It gives me a different font, which I appreciate. You need to go back near your lab. But how do I get there? Because it teleported me to over here, right? So... And the ninja will give you the HM. I'm just gonna go back to the... to the city I came from. And from there we'll see what happens. That probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, but the thing is, after like the story thing, and maybe there's like story discrepancy there because I just mashed the A button and you actually chose something. Because that's something that's supposed to happen in this game, right? A bit more of choose your own adventure. As far as I recall, and that could be bad in and of itself, like a bad memory. We got like blown the fuck up or something? Or we like committed treason against our boss, and then we teleported to the place we were at just now, that town. So I don't even know how to get back to my lab. If I can. I'm assuming I can't. Also, I'm getting texts. A ninja will give you the HM cut. There is symbolism in there. I'm also getting Facebook messages. Which I am not going to answer right now because that is not important. At least not for me. It's probably important for the person sending it, but that ain't my problem now. Wait a second. Is this... No, wait a second. Is this where my lab was? Yeah, I think it might be. Hold on a moment. Yeah, my lab went boom boom. Because Mewtwo blew it up? Question mark? I think... Ralts is dead. I am so bad at this game. But there will be more choices if you want to stay there. And in the end, there will be 2 separate... okay. That makes sense. Probably shouldn't have stayed in for you, but... what are you going to do against me? I'm level 21! And you, I can actually amber, so fuck off. So I feel like this... no, this is... I'm misremembering things, clearly. Because I don't think... unless the entirety of the region fucking changed after my weapon... I hate cut trays! Yeah, I'm definitely not going the right direction. I hope it's entertaining to see me getting lost, because... hold on. Okay, I'm back in the city. Mewtwo always blows stuff. It is kind of his thing, isn't it? Mewtwo just blows shit up. Mewtwo... it doesn't even do an explosion. I guess explosion kills itself, and Mewtwo is too powerful to die. So... but you are right. Mewtwo literally just blows everything it sees up. Every time Mewtwo is anywhere in the Pokemon universe, things explode. I mean, I don't want to be like that guy. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just saying, when Mewtwo shows up, shit blows up. You are a different kind of building, so surely... oh my god, have we found it? I think we have found it. This seems like I found it. I have not found it. Damn it! I think you needed to go left and up as much as you can. I think you just missed an entrance or path there. Try going to the lab in this city. I read that a little too late because I figure this is the lab, right? It has to be. All these buildings look the same, so surely you look like a person who would give me cut. No, you're not. Yeah, I found my way to the lab, but not to the HM cut. I am this close to just giving somebody cut with Pokédex. The game corner. Probably not where I'm gonna get cut. Means that she already gave you the quest to collect all the badges. Yeah, that was the lab. I have 1 badge. Wait, do I just need to talk? If this is the case, I'm gonna be upset. I very much doubt it, but I'm gonna check nonetheless, because you can't ever be too sure. I'll also, you have the badge, but this is not over, vlogger. I will train harder. I have ambition. You're the one I want to get over. That, okay. I'll never give up. You better not lose to others. Don't let me down. I think I already lost to somebody else after you, so sorry about that. But he didn't give me cut. I guess that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna explore a lot. And maybe we'll find something. That's definitely not what I want to do, where I wanted to go, but sure. Developing. I don't know if this is still a developing city. It looks pretty big to me already. Maybe you don't need to. People need to shut the fuck up when I'm streaming. Again, the only time I ever get text messages are when I'm streaming or when I'm recording. And that's not because I'm always recording or streaming. If this is it, I'm... Okay, it's not. I have an ambition. Beating Vlogger, not very ambitious. It's not very ambitious at all. That's a pretty, like, low bar to clear. I gotta give you that. It's actually a very low bar to clear, because I think most people could probably beat me. Given 3 fights, I think the chance of beating me in at least one of them are like 95%. If you know basic, like, type effectiveness and, like, what moves do. Like, secondary effects. Like, I give you... Without any competitive knowledge at all, I still give you a 95% chance of beating me at least 1 out of 3. More cut trees, because why not? And maybe 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3 is patting myself on the back a little too much, even, frankly speaking. Because 1 out of 3 means that I would, on average, well, no, that seems about correct. Because on average, I think somebody who doesn't have any competitive experience, I would beat more often than not. But still, they would have a fair shot at beating me a decent amount of the times. So, beating me is more of a matter of just fighting me enough and not a matter of being good enough. Okay, 1v1 competitive Pokemon. Will I win 2 out of 3 matches? I'm very bad at team building. So probably. That's where I came from. I'm lost again. Fucking amazing. That's why for the showdown scoreboard, well, showdown scoreboard is an entirely different thing. But for the showdown member videos, which I haven't done member or showdown videos in a while because I've been doing other stuff with that. I just do random battles because otherwise I gotta make an entire team every single time, and I'm very bad at that. So just based on how bad I am at team building, yeah, you would win. It's just that easy. Go down near the lake. You are wandering back now. Yeah, I figured that one out. A little too late, but I figured it out. Yeah, so I already went there. I don't know if I'm just stupid or these routes are just very confusing. Maybe it's a little both. Well, I do not have to mention Sonic, Spyro, or other platformers because I already wiped the floor with you in there. Sonic, you got a real big advantage. I think Spyro was pretty close, wasn't it? As far as, like, Spyro can be close. Oh yeah, for those, may I suggest look, be a landlord? You're down near a white lady. You seem like a white lady. Oh, I am such a fucking idiot. I want to avoid the grass, but you need to go through the grass, obviously, to get to your destination at some point. Oh, that is stupidity at its best. Okay, so now we're back here. Is this where I got cut? Please tell me this is where I got cut. One of these houses has to be... You have a little sign in front of your house, so surely you must be... Left down near White Lady at the top of the lake. That brings me to this time. Which is where we were at like 20 minutes ago. So what you're saying is that I've just been getting lost and wasting my own time. always follow the grassy routes. But that means I get random encounters, and I don't want random encounters. Because that is annoying. And I don't want to buy repels, because that is expensive. I'm just going to go into every... Never mind, I'm not going to go into every single house. I didn't know that. I did not know... Okay, you also won't let me in. Sure. What is this? Evil then? Do I have to unlock the ability to fucking enter people's houses? This is a video game. I don't know if you've ever played a video game, but that's kind of a thing you can do in video games. Just enter random people's houses. Okay, you don't give me card either. 6 levels isn't that much in Spyro. That's like... Well, actually, that's an entire world. So that's like 20% of the game. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm betting most of that discrepancy came from Treetops. Because Treetops fucking sucks and I can never remember all the gems. Look, I like RPGs. I like... And now we're back here. A random house will not contain an HM, otherwise the game will tell. Maybe that's the case for this game. I would like to direct you back towards Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, where you get caught in a pretty random house in Rustboro City. Like, I think it has a sign out from, but it's not a very obvious thing at all. Like, not at all. It's a very much a random house. But that is also an issue I have with that game. But I'm assuming you mean in this specific game they don't do that. So go there. Go where? Treetops created by Sage. It definitely is. So which game can you beat me in? Because I also beat your ass in Disney platformers. Let me think. I can probably beat you in a race in most Kingdom Hearts games, I would argue at this point. Like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Birth by Sleep, specifically the Terror route, I could probably beat you. Left. Yeah, that's where I'm going. But then you end up in the forest where I need cut. I haven't gone right here. Yeah, okay, so that doesn't really lead anywhere, does it? I want to make it apparently, like, very apparent and clear that I am just an idiot. And I'm probably missing something very obvious. It would make sense to give me cut in the forest where I need to use cut. Wait, can I just go? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Can I just go right? Can I just... I am such a fucking moron. Oh my god, that was 25, probably 30 minutes of my life. You just go... Fucking hell. Oh my god. That is so bad. Again, I'm just an idiot. Fucking hell. Oh my god. And that's where I got caught. There you go. Guillemot's Birth by Sleep Terror route is very easy, admittedly. Though, that's the only one I've like actually done speedruns of. And I think I got down to like 1 hour 40 or something like that on beginner mode. But I haven't really practiced much, or recently at all. But generally speaking, I gotta say, because I don't know, you can manipulate the Monstro RNG and skip Monstro altogether. I would have to learn how to do that. Because it would be very much a me move to start a Kingdom Hearts 1 race and then get disadvantaged because I have to do the entirety of Monstera, which is entirely skippable. If you know what you're doing. But if there's any game series that I would consider myself at least somewhat good at, it would be Kingdom Hearts. I mean, I'm going through Kingdom Hearts 3 on critical mode fairly well. I mean, I'm dying against some stupid enemies sometimes. And I'm dying against bosses a couple of times per boss. But I have only really used the cuisine mechanic once so far. I was expecting to use it a lot more. I would not say that I'm the best Kingdom Hearts player. I still haven't beaten Yuzora. I'm never gonna beat Yuzora. I want that to be very obvious. I'm gonna stop trying as well. I have stopped trying, as a matter of fact. But I would definitely consider myself to be fairly good at most Kingdom Hearts games, because I have played most of them more times than is altogether healthy to do. But got Kingdom Hearts story so far, so I can get practice in. Look, all I'm asking for is that if we do a race, we wait until the Kingdom Hearts release on PC, because then I'll get an advantage on loading screens because I can play it over my SSD. And I have a ridiculously fast SSD. Like, it's so fast that the bottleneck for like reading and writing data is not the SSD. Like, it is just my processing speed and Windows. Because I think, my C drive that is, right? I have I think it's 500 gigabyte SSD, which is rated. I've never been able to test that because Windows just doesn't allow you to do those kind of transfer speeds. But I think it's rated for like writing at close to 5 gigabytes or gigabit. I think gigabyte actually. And reading at about 3. So, if I were to install Kingdom Hearts on those, Kingdom Hearts 3 even, on those, I'm expecting my load times to just kind of disappear. Because it wasn't a cheap SSD, to be honest. So, and here's an engine. I found it. Got my game into pieces. This wasted too much time. With this game always following, I guess that makes sense. Again, I am just an idiot. There's no like, there's no other response to that. It's just I'm an idiot because I definitely should have seen that coming. Can I please get a tech order now? Oh, I get a miracle. I get a miracle seed. Hold on, hold your fucking horses. We're gonna give that to Kyle. Because that'll power up Mega Drain. Did I hear Monster Hunter? I've never played Monster Hunter, so no, you did not. Fuck off will never do a race again with the inferior version, because most of the time I will lose exactly because of that. Exactly! And that is why I want to play Kingdom Hearts on my PC versus on your laptop. I think. You have a laptop, right? Not a PC? Do you have a desktop? I don't know. Because that'll give me an advantage. A pretty big one. Matter of fact, I don't know if yours will be able to run it at 60 FPS. I'm assuming my PC could. So that would be fun. And the loading times. Mostly the loading times would be very, very nice for me. I'm just going to run away from this encounter because I want to get to a Pokemon Center sometime in, like, this lifetime. Twilight Princess HD and standard definition raise lost due to the standard definition had additional steps. Okay, but you probably should, like, fuck this Bunary. You probably shouldn't fuck this Bunary. I know there's a thing that people want to do, specifically Lopunny, actually. Like, different hardware is one thing, right? Because if we were playing, I don't know if you have a PlayStation 4 or 4 Pro. I have a Pro, so technically speaking, loading times would probably be shorter for me because of that by a very thin but existing margin. That is not something you can do that much about, all things considered. Oh, we're finally back in this Persian motherfucking city. Let's get to a Pokemon Center. But you probably should be playing the same version of the game for all intents and purposes. I have a laptop. Yeah, there you go. So, is this the next gym? Because I feel like we might have to do a tiny bit of grinding. That being mostly Randall, Anakin, and Wanda. So let's start grinding. Oh no, you're going to all be level 3, aren't you? I can go south though. Yeah, you want to fuck the Lopunny. If you're going to fuck any Pokemon, like don't pick Buneri, fuck Lopunny. Or Gardevoir. Or Lucario. Or Rayquaza. We're not going to have a discussion about who is the most fuckable Pokemon. We're just not. I'm going to steer right away from that one. Because that's going to get into some dodgy territory. Fuck Buneri, no. Fuck your Lopunny. Last message was sent by Furries. I don't know. I feel like Furries would fuck a lot more. No, we're not going to talk about that. I just said we're going to steer away from that. So let's... I finished watching Star Wars. Not all of Star Wars. I finished watching the main 9 episodes of Star Wars. Like I said last week, I was watching them back to back in chronological order. From episode 1 to episode 9. And I gotta say, episode 9 still really fucking sucks. It is probably, honestly, I don't know if I want to call it the worst Star Wars movie, because episode 1 is really fucking boring. And so is episode 2, actually. Mostly episode 2. But at least they are coherent stories and have something that resembles pacing. Episode 9, I hated it when I watched it in theaters. I rewatched it for the first time over the last, 2 nights. It is a clusterfuck of a movie. It is actually the worst. It is really fucking bad. I hate it with every fiber of my being. That being said, though, I have come around to the Rey Skywalker thing. I was kind of opposed to that because it was like, the idea here is that you are what you make of yourself, not where you come from. So why not embrace the Palpatine name and change what Palpatine means, right? Make Palpatine something that's eventually going to be associated with good things and not just, oh, I'm going to take my distance from Palpatine and just call myself a Skywalker because I'm good. Right? That kind of... And to a certain extent, I still think that does apply. It kind of undermines the idea of the story is... It's not where you come from, it's who you are. And I can see what they're going for and it's acceptable, but I still do think... that but they will probably have to follow it up with more stories to make this actually work. I still do think that this is kind of like, oh... I choose to be a good person, so I'm not a Palpatine, I am a Skywalker, rather than I might be a Palpatine, but I can still choose to be a good person. Which is, by the way, good person and a Jedi are not synonymous at all. But implying that you need to leave your name behind to be able to be a different person still kind of implies that, yeah, no, if she called herself Rey Palpatine, she would have to be evil, which is just not the case. Just because you share a last name with an evil dude doesn't make you evil. And I still think that they kind of missed the mark on that one, at least for me. I do see what they intended there, and I can get behind that now. I was annoyed at that at first, when I saw it in theaters. I mean, the movie's called Rise of Skywalker, so I knew it was coming, because there was nothing like Ben had died, and even then Ben would have been Ben Solo, not Ben Skywalker. So... I knew when she paused for a second, I knew she was going to say Rey Skywalker, and in the theaters I was really sitting in my chair no, you're not. No, Rey, no. And then she said Rey Skywalker. And I was annoyed because I had just watched a very bad movie. And then the one thing that they dragged out. Also, I am all the Sith and then I am all the Jedi. Disney, I know you own everything now, but can you please at least make the climactic scenes of your two biggest franchises not the exact same fucking scene? Because that was that was not an accident. That was very much on purpose. Like internally, there was communication about that. Being like, we have the I Am Iron Man scene. We probably should like include something like that in Star Wars because it'll be fun. No, that was like forcefully shoved in our face, and it's the worst. They try to build up towards it, but like everything else in this movie, they have a half decent idea, and then they fucking fail to execute it in any meaningful way. I hate The Rise of Skywalker with a burning passion. Like, I honestly, like, people who say the sequels are bad, I don't think so. I quite like The Force Awakens. I fucking love The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi might actually be my favourite Star Wars movie, not gonna lie. I like the sequels as individual movies, for the most part. As a coherent story flowing from one into the other. It has issues, mostly because they switched directors and there wasn't, like, any planning. But Rise of Skywalker is just bad. And people say, well, that's Rian Johnson's fault because he didn't pick up on what JJ set up. And that is bullshit, because as a writer and well, mostly a writer in this case, but as like the lead creator force on a project like that, I'm gonna read chats in a moment. Hey Seka, how you doing? It's been a while since I've talked to you. I saw a different thing in chat and I had to look. It's been a while, how have you been? But what JJ should have done is exactly what people accuse... What JJ did is exactly what people accuse Rian Johnson of doing, and that is not being able to pick up on the setup, for the most part, that his predecessor put down. Because he really wanted to tell the story he wanted to tell based on Episode 7, and not based on Episode 8. He made his story he wanted to tell work in the context of Episode 8, rather than building upon Episode 8 for Episode 9. So that just becomes an entire clusterfuck, and there's a lot of reasons this movie ended up being very bad. That is probably the main one. Also, JJ isn't known for setting up mysteries and then paying them off very well. So we could have seen that one coming. I'm going to read up in chat now. So the grinding begins. The best Pokemon to fuck has been analyzed. Oh my god, yeah, we were talking about that a moment ago. It's Vaporeon. Vaporeon is still the most fuckable. Vlogger's entire run is dodgy, most of it. I think I make a good point as to why Rise of Skywalker is a piece of crap. But sure, if you disagree, do let me know why. And then we have Sakai. Again, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Did you check the gym yet to see the thing he needs to do? Oh, do I need to do a thing? Do I need to do a thing? I don't want to do a thing. I really don't want to do a thing. Anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. Hey, been good living life. How about you? Been very not much affected by the entire COVID pandemic, so that is fantastic. Because that could have been real bad. Real good thing that I work from home, as is anyway. Other than that, it's actually been a fairly good year. I mean, I've not talked to you for longer than 1 year, so... well, I talk to you a little, but not like talked to you, you know? But it's been a fairly good, like, couple of years for me. Not the entirety of it, but it's been, like... There's an upwards trend in the goodness of life for me over the last 2 years. So that is improvement, I'd say, right? If that same upward trend existed in my subscriber and view counts, that would be fucking amazing. But hey, you can't always have your cake and eat it too. At least I have, like, other ways to make money. So that's neat. When the hell does Wonder evolve? Can somebody please inform me? You have other priorities. Am I gonna get lost again? Am I gonna get lost again? The gym is not gonna be that big a deal. Is the gym gonna be that big a deal? Yeah, I saw something like that on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. That sounds like actually quite a lovely time. I mean, I'm sure it must suck not being able to like freely travel back and forth between the States, and I'm assuming you're still living in Portugal, right? But then again, if you don't need... Wait, before you begin with your challenge, I'd like you to get some suggestions to challenge the gym. You'll need enough money for your challenge. First of all, come up with a question, then have to answer it. If you get the answer ticket from outside, the statue will tell you what the answer is. Never think that it's over, only accept answer tickets. You need to pay $10 for each answer. Sometimes the answer you bought might be wrong, so it is set to give you the answer directly, but in fact you still answer it. What is the... Oh my god, I hate this already. I'll give you the prize and think... Which Pokemon has the greatest base stat in defense and special defense? Come back when you think you've gotten the correct answer. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep grinding for a bit and then we'll see. What is the answer there anyway? Huh. Yeah, when Portugal, cheaper this way. I can see that. Also, last chance of like... Well, I probably shouldn't say that because I don't know how the insane people are in Portugal. But the insane people over in the States are fairly insane at the moment. And it's a hellscape. And I know that at least for like the Netherlands, that has been exported over to at least this part of Europe, sadly enough, with like rampant conspiracy theories and just people being absolute fucking morons. So I'm hoping you guys don't have that as badly, but I'm afraid that you probably will. So if so, I hope that it doesn't bother you too much and that nobody like in your immediate like circle like really hardcore into that bullshit, because it is the actual worst. It's Choco. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. I was thinking like Blissey and Clefable, but it's Choco. So do I talk to... Not this one? Do I talk to this one? It's not really doing much for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. What type is this gym? Let's go there first. What typing are we going to be fighting? The Man of Gold. Is it going to be gold typing? Is it going to be all gold colored Pokemon? Please tell me it's all gold colored Pokemon, because that would be... Or Pokemon you can find in Pokemon Gold! That would be so stupid, but I would love it! Also, probably just want to have confusion on the first spot, right? Oh, inside the gym. So why did it kick me out of the gym before I could do anything? The statue is inside. Okay, I get that now. I'm gonna grind everybody up to like level 20-ish, because I'm assuming that's not gonna work. I'm assuming level 20 is roughly where we want to be at. Also, it'll probably evolve Ralts, not Anakin. It'll... Maybe Rendell will evolve? I don't know. I forgot already, but I think it's normal. That could be... I don't know if that's gonna be a pain or if that's gonna be good. I feel like that's gonna be pretty neutral, honestly. Wait, did I leave it? I feel like the gym made me leave. I could be mistaken there. But I feel like I didn't press the down button there. I am not entirely sure. Crazy people are just inconsiderate, not showboating dickhats. Well, that's a start. Wait, so you're saying that people are just inconsiderate and not like full-on conspiracy theorists and you guys have all decriminalized drugs? I might be moving to Portugal. I might just be. Like, I don't think I can hear the words Corona dictatorship or the Great Reset without wanting to punch people in the face anymore. Like, it's always been annoying, but at this point, like, I'm actually getting, like, aggression issues out of it. It's really... I hate it. It is the fucking worst. Yeah, I mean, but I still feel like I didn't actually, like, do the leaving. Apparently I'm just mistaken, but I honestly do feel like the game walked me out. Which doesn't make any sense if the Persian statue is inside. So I'm probably just, like, not paying attention to the game. No. Drugs aren't legal here. Like, some are. Like, if you want to smoke weed, that is not even decriminalized. Decriminalized, actually. It's, in short, it's a complicated system, but in short, selling is, strictly speaking, illegal. Buying isn't. But there is no punishment to go with the law that says that you can't sell. But that is specifically for weed. And like some other things like shrooms and stuff like that. But like most more hardcore drugs, like if you want to do cocaine, still, you're not going to get like thrown in jail for possession of cocaine. So the having of the drugs itself, I guess, isn't strictly... It is illegal, but they won't, like, do anything against you. Selling it is highly illegal, though. Like, if you're actually, like, out there selling cocaine or heroin or... what are other drugs? Like, a lot of drugs. MDMA. I don't know. You will get in trouble for that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it forced me. I think she said, come back when you know the answer. Wait, no. She definitely said, think about it and come back when you know the answer. So she probably kicked me out. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I've been doing too many of these legal drugs, and I'm just losing my mind. But you are right. As far as, like, European and worldwide, like, other than Portugal, which I don't know if you guys still have, like, all drugs decriminalized. I know you... I think they did that in 2001, so there's been plenty of time to reverse that, and maybe that's just being incorrect information at this point. We are pretty, like, liberal as far as, like, drugs go, usually, around this country, which is, honestly, probably a good thing. I talked about that with a friend of mine a while ago. Like, to what extent can you make something illegal to protect people from it, and to what extent, like, do you want to give people freedom to, like, ruin their own bodies in the way they want to? Because, like, smoking is legal, and that's more harmful than a lot of these drugs. Alcohol is legal, and that is way more harmful than some of these drugs. Like, it's just because alcohol was very easy to make from a very low-tech perspective, and as such it's been ingrained in almost every culture in history. But that doesn't mean it's not very damaging to your body. So if some drugs are illegal because they are dangerous and because they damage your body and it's not good for your health, definitely alcohol should be in that category as well. I don't personally very much like alcohol most of the time. At least not in, like, big amounts. Like, a beer or two I like, but after that... Look, I don't want to be that guy, because I'm only going to be like 25 in a week and a half. So I'm not old, but I feel like I've reached that age where hangovers are just like a thing I get when I go drinking. Like, even like 4 years ago, like 3-4 years ago, it wasn't that bad. I could like have quite a lot to drink, at least for like my purposes. I'd be like shit ass drunk, and the next morning only like feel a little off. Now, if I actually get drunk, the next day, not just the next morning I feel a little off, I just need to take a day off. Because I will be legally dead. Maybe that is also partly just due to my non-existent tolerance for the stuff, because I barely ever drink. For me, it's unthinkable to even go without a few beers. You see, let me rephrase in case I made it sound like I want to make alcohol illegal. I don't. All I'm saying is if alcohol is legal, I think a lot of other drugs also should be legal. And the idea that a lot of these substances are like more dangerous in any way is just kind of bullshit. Because, yeah, people under the influence of, for instance, like cocaine, especially like regular users of the stuff, can be more aggressive. But have you ever seen drunk people? Drunk people are an absolute hassle to deal with. You don't want to deal with drunk people. They are the worst. It's just a example that comes to mind. I don't know why we're talking about drugs. I don't think YouTube likes that. I'm gonna be honest, the concept of any drug other than alcohol and weed is kind of scary, mainly because I'm anxious and anxious mess, and psychedelics freak me out. Psychedelics also kind of freak me out, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I probably wouldn't do psychedelics very easily. But that is also because I am somebody who just does not like when I'm not in control of the situation. That makes me feel like very bad feelings when I like lose any sense of control, and that is kind of psychedelics like are. So I'm gonna stay the fuck away from that. But then again, there is a spectrum there as well, because like you don't have to go do DMT. As far as like psychedelics go, there's milder psychedelics as well, right? Still, it doesn't attract me at all. I'm not advocating for anybody to go out and like do a lot of drugs, by the way. YouTube, if you're watching this, that's not what I'm doing. We're just having an open discussion about what I think is weird about some legislation around the world. I mean, we could talk about like whether you prefer like vodka or beer or like fucking what else? Jägermeister. That's actually that is some good shit. I'll admit you that. Red Bull Jägermeister is really fucking like I go good on that shit when I do go out. Like when I do want to get drunk, that is my shit. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love it. It's got that licorice kind of taste to it, and I really like licorice, like black licorice. That is not red or like blue, because that is just way too chemically sweet for me. Like actually, like black licorice. I love that shit, and you get that taste a little bit in that, and I like that. Together with like the overpowering sweetness of the Red Bull, or any other energy drink, by the way, sponsor me for like the 3 views I get. Ends up being real good, but again, I just generally like don't have a good time the night out of the morning, the day after I get drunk. So I just don't end up doing it that much. If I'm not in control, I feel paranoid as hell. Yeah, I feel like that is like a character flaw we both just refuse to acknowledge and work on. But you know what? In day-to-day life, it does really bother me. And if the biggest downside to me having that, like, going on in my psychology is that I don't feel comfortable taking certain types of drugs with, like, psychedelic effects, sure. That's okay with me. Your sponsorship is plenty. But that's not a sponsorship, that's a membership. That's different. I owe you a video a week, which I don't even deliver sometimes. I'm so sorry, I forgot about it last week. I'm gonna hopefully record a Balloon Tower Defense tomorrow. And I'll make it a long one as well. I entirely just forgot. It was like Wednesday by the time I realized that, oh fuck, I didn't do a member video this week. Oh, Rolls is almost level 20. This is going the right direction. Hopefully we can do this gym within this episode. I'm assuming level 20 should be enough, right? I'm also going to need to drink a sip of water. That all being said, though, about psychedelics, if you smoke enough weed, you can get pretty similar effects as far as I've, like, heard. I don't have any psychedelic experience to compare it to. So I can't compare it myself. It is level 20. Okay, cool. Do you get a better move? You get better stats at least. That is a start. But you can get, like, pretty far lost in, like, your own thoughts just, like, getting away from you, if that makes any sense. If you just get, like, stoned enough out of your mind, which, from what I understand, could be considered, like, a light psychedelic experience, so... And the times that's happened to me, it's been interesting, but it's also not always been the most amount of fun. Because it can be pretty, like... what's the right word here to use? I can't find the right word. Doesn't matter. Mostly likely forgot to watch them too. For member videos, I check out Look, Be a Landlord. I will look into that. Tried some weed a long time ago, fucked me up quite badly, so I never want to touch it ever again. Yeah, that sometimes happens. Like, not with that specific stuff, just with, like, if your first experience with any given substance is bad, it tends to, like, just not go over great, like, at all. Unless you, like, actually put in effort into, like, reacquainting yourself with it, but at that point, like, you're going to, like, therapy sessions and able to be able to in order to be able to use a certain amount of drug, which, if it's that important to you to be able to use certain drugs, something is wrong in your life, frankly. So at the end of the day, the thing I want to get at is that I think for the most part, like, there are some things like heroin which are just, like, real fucking destructive, where I'm not sure whether or not I would say, yeah, you probably should also legalize that. But for the most part, I'm like, let people decide what they want to, like, put into their bodies on their own. As long as it doesn't harm anybody else, just let people do what they want to do. Right? And I know you could, like, argue that, yeah, but that then could increase things like healthcare, and if you have some kind of socialized healthcare system, you are actually bothering other people with it, because now they are spending, like, part of their money is being spent on making sure you don't die because you did something stupid. And that's where complexity comes in, right? Because the more socialized something is, especially if you're still operating within a capitalistic economy, and, like, politically speaking as well, the more of like a good point you actually have there as well. So it's a very complicated topic which I don't have a definitive stance on, but by and large, I do think as long as you're not directly hurting somebody else, you should be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. Because for most actions you take, even actions that are legal right now, you probably inconvenience somebody else somewhere in some way. Like, you can always find a way in which any action ends up being bad for somebody else. Like, you gotta draw the line somewhere. And I think that line, for me, falls, like, after, like, 2 degrees of separation. Who gives a shit, right? At that point, there was no intent to hurt anybody. Unless you're a COVID denier, in which case you can burn in hell. Because you fuckers are the reason we're still in this mess. Partly. It's also just because vaccines just haven't been around for long enough for everybody to get them, logistically speaking. But COVID deniers are the worst. Like, no discussion there. Like, I am not willing to move on that on that stance. Well, I am willing to move. They are not the actual worst because they are not actual Nazis. Some of them are. But then again, that doesn't mean all of them are. More and more of them are turning into it though, seemingly. I don't know, it's all, I don't know how I ended up talking about politics again. I'm very sorry, you're not supposed to do that on YouTube. I don't know, it's a thing that, especially with elections being held this week in my country, and the results aren't looking particularly great, I'm going to be honest with you. It's, politics have been on my mind. They have been, and probably will be for the foreseeable future as well, because elections have finished, but that doesn't mean, like, all the political discourse around them has finished, as we know. There's probably going to be some fraud somewhere, because that happened in America, so it's going to happen here as well. It didn't happen in America, and it didn't happen here. Anyhow, so let's move away from politics, because I'm never going to be able to stop talking if we don't talk about something else. So, give me something to talk about. Something a little bit more apolitical. Let's talk about religion! Because that always goes well. In the span of half an hour, we went from drug usage to politics real quickly, and now religion? No, we're not actually going to go to religion, don't worry. Like, there's some things that I won't touch with a 10-foot pole on the internet. And today, one of those things is religion. Not always, but today, religion is one of those things. Instead, we're going to maybe just see what this gym is like. Let's just try. Let's just give it a shot. Do I just talk to one of these? The answer is Shuckle. If you think this might be the correct answer, please insert 10 coins. Yeah, okay, so we talked about a lot of weird stuff today, because we talked about drug usage, we talked about politics, but before that, I already forgot about that. We talked about the most fuckable Pokemon, which is, by and large, probably the worst answer. Oh wait, we actually make money this way as well. That is neat. Plants. What do you think of plants? I think plants are highly overrated. I think we should remove all plants from planet Earth. We don't need them. People say photosynthesis, yeah, but I've never seen photosynthesis. Okay, we're doing conspiracy theory again. Okay, I'm the second one. I think you've known the rule. Let's begin with it. Second question. Which move can't cause damage but does have a certain power? I didn't know such a move existed. The answer is Magikarp Splash. Wait, are they all Magikarp Splash? Does Splash have a power? Or is it just based on which side you... Oh, Umbreon Synchronize. I don't even know what Synchronize does. These don't have answers in them, do they? Wait. I think those two have been swapped accidentally. I'm gonna go for... Splash. So Magikarp Splash is your answer. Let's see... You were fooled. Now I have to battle you. Okay, I know, like, black people exist, but that is very black. Like, you are black premium. Is that racist? I hope that's not racist. It wasn't meant to be. If it is, I'm sorry. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone into that, eh? Maybe Wanda. Wanda could actually be a... Ooh, you took that like a champ. Oh, you did not take that like... Wow. I mean, Chino. Let's just go into Simba, because Simba annihilates everything it touches. Or doesn't touch. And then I can move on to the next question. I'm the third. You're a joker. Look, that is racist. I think. I don't know what is racist anymore. Questions becoming tougher. I think the last one was pretty tough. Listen close and listen hard. Question 3. The base power of which move may exceed 400? Wait, what? $400? Fury Cutter. That seems reasonable because... Magnitude, I don't think so. I don't think Magnitude can be over 400. No, Magnitude definitely not it. Rollout? I've never gotten off a full rollout. So it could be. Could be. So far I'm leaning more towards Fury Cutter. Well, actually no, rollout, because rollout is kind of like Fury Cutter because, well, you're going to be stuck in it. So there would need to be more of a reward towards rollout. I'm going to go for rollout. There we go. I used logic, I applied game design logic, and I won. Well, I still need to face the actual gym leader in a moment here. I'm the last one. I've waited for a long time. Final question. Which move can be learned by only one kind of Pokemon? Think about it carefully. This is the last question for you. The answer is Chatter. This is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. It is Chatter. But I want to see the other answers. Also Chatter. Also Chatter. Blue Flare. Oh! No, Blue Flare can also be learned by Victini, I think. Full Tackle. Definitely not, because even if you count it as Pikachu exclusive, which it might be, that means Raichu also can have it, technically speaking, and maybe even Pichu. Blue Flare. Blue Flare is Victini and Reshiram, right? Chatter is only Chatot. I am 99% sure. I like this gym. I like Blaine's gym. I always like this kind of trivia. And I think actually the trivia questions in this gym, like they're more difficult and they're way too difficult for a normal Pokemon game. I get that. I think the trivia questions in this gym are actually the exact right amount of difficulty. Because I got like 3 out of 4 right, so But I had to think about most of them. And I felt accomplished answering these questions. It wasn't just like Metaport evolves into Butterfree, yes or no. Or something like Bulbasaur evolves twice. Or like evolves 3 times. Or like has 3 evolutions. And then you're like, okay, there's 3 evolutionary stages, but he technically only has 2 evolutions, and maybe that's just a poor translation from the Japanese version. But that question really is kind of ambiguous, so probably should make it a little bit more clear. I like this gym. Wait till the last gym. It's also trivia based and like 10 questions. We're never gonna make it to that, but that does sound promising and fun. Let's lead with Simba, just because Simba. Huh, Vlogger? Weren't you working for, yeah, about that? What made you come to meet me? What? You've decided to quit? I have no comment for this. I don't care, since you're here. I'll regard you as my challenger. That's kind of why I'm here. Vlogger, ready? I don't know what the levels are going to be here. Because I only battled one of your trainers, and it was actually kind of a tough battle, so... This looks like the background from the Rock-type gym in X and Y. Okay, your person is level 23. That's, I'm assuming that's your ace? So that's actually not too... Oh my god! Okay, fuck. It is a normal type. That is good to know. So if Kyle evolves into a Breloom, we probably have a at least we're asleep. But you are a defensive. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. Fuck. It probably was my best chance. Yeah, I'm gonna say fuck everything. Oh, you take that like a champ. Wow. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to grind up Kyle. Because Kyle needs to evolve and get Mark Punch. I think Mark Punch is the first move he learns when he evolves, right? I think so. We need that. There is no 2 ways about it. If we can get a priority super effective stab move, that's gonna help us a lot. Was that a critical hit after Endure? Because I feel like critical hits should break Endure. I don't know if it actually was. We could also just level up Simba to a ridiculous level. The issue with Switch training Kyle here is that Kyle doesn't really have a lot of moves that can damage most Pokemon in this area. And also everything around here is like level 9. Do we have any trainers left actually? That might help out a bit. Merrills also do help out a lot. When does Shroomish evolve? Can anybody check that for me please? Because if that's like level 30, we're gonna need to come up with a new strategy. Well, there you go. It's a double battle, and it's, well, you're gonna switch the fuck out, aren't you? And then, I can Amber the Combi? Yeah, it's gonna be easy. Okay, that's a bit too bad, but I can still headbutt you. Okay, one thing. I am happy that it doesn't exist in these games, but at the same time, I would be kind of, like, into the idea of it existing in these games, and that if you're confused, and I think in Colosseum this might be in a mechanic, I don't know, but if you're confused and in a double or triple battle, you should be able to accidentally hit your teammates, like the other Pokemon on your team as well, instead of just being able to hit yourself. Not at the same time, it's just like, if you hit yourself, it's gotta be a 50-50 which Pokemon actually gets damaged. I like that as an idea. I think the thing I'm thinking about in Pokemon Colosseum is when Pokemon are in like the Hyper Shadow mode thingy. 23. Oh, we can do that. they can lash out and hit your second Pokemon. I like that idea as a mechanic. It would also be very, very annoying. If they actually introduce it, I would probably complain about it. But until they don't actually introduce it, I'm going to complain about the fact that it's not in there. Because that is how the Pokemon fanbase operates. They complain. That is probably why I fit in so well. Now that I say that loud, that's probably why I fit in so well with the Pokemon fandom. It's because there's only one fandom that's better at complaining and hating the thing that they love than the Pokemon fandom, and that is the Star Wars fandom, and I like both. Like, nobody hates Star Wars as much as Star Wars fans, and I feel like Pokemon kind of... Maybe Nintendo as a whole has the same thing going on, because... Like, the Nintendo fanbase really fucking seems to hate Nintendo. And sometimes for good reason. But oftentimes, they just get mad. Because they hype themselves up, and then get disappointed. Like, you can't hate somebody else for that, you gotta hate yourself. Like, I know it's a meme, but I'm going to use it as an example because I don't have an actual example at the moment. Because I try to avoid most of the discourse surrounding Nintendo these days. Other than just, like, the actual news headlines. But, like, people will be complaining, like, we want Goku in Smash. Nobody actually wants Goku in Smash, I know. But then if they actually added Goku in Smash, they would complain that they don't think Goku should be in Smash. It's a bad example, I know. But that's kind of how I feel about, like, in general, how Pokemon fans work and Nintendo fans in general work a lot of the time. And maybe that's an over-exaggeration. Maybe it is. And I'm not saying every single Nintendo fan has that, because I would definitely consider myself a fan of at least Nintendo's products overall, generally speaking. I don't think being a fan of any kind of brand generally is like a series, sure, but a company, being a fan of a company is like kind of dangerous. Not dangerous that you're gonna die, but it's just, it makes you less critical, or less reasonably critical, I should say, maybe, about that company's practices and stuff like that. And generally, I try to avoid that as much as possible. That being said, I fall into the same trap with Disney. Because I know Disney is not always like the nicest in what they do and how they do it. But I still love like 95% of the things they like put out for consumers. Like Disneyland. Like it's the most magical place on Earth, especially if there's not a lot of people around. Like right now, it's probably the most magical place on Earth because it's closed. Now, but when it opens up, I think in California, it's supposed to open up, Disneyland or Disney World, I don't know, in the next month at 15% capacity. That is actually like the prime Disneyland experience. Because Disneyland at 100% capacity is the most hellish place on Earth. It is actually the worst. But when you get to experience Disneyland as like on peak Disneyland, it's amazing. And most of their animated movies are amazing. And most of the things they acquire are amazing. And then, like, yeah, they made Rise of Skywalker, which I am aware. I just like spent 20 minutes, or like 15 minutes, absolutely tearing apart because it is the worst movie of all time. It's not, but it is really bad. It's not the worst. I've seen much worse. But then, the MCU, I fucking love it. I haven't seen Soul yet from Pixar, so I can't comment on that. Obviously, I haven't seen Raya and the Last Dragon yet because that's still only for VIPs on Disney Plus. And while I understand that it's like like getting a movie ticket, I just in principle refuse. Also, I'm not paying for my own Disney Plus. I, in principle, refuse to pay for a purchase within a subscription-based service. I refuse to do that. Same with, like, that started with games having microtransactions. Which is fine. If you have a free game with microtransactions in it, that is fine. That is the way you make money with that, right? Oh, that is so much better. I probably should have just known the Headbutt is better than Tackle, but hey, it's going to speed up my grinding by quite a lot. But like, Disney Plus is doing that now with this, and I know it's specifically for the pandemic because they can't release it in theaters and they still want to release these movies, but they need to charge you a little bit extra. But I think that if you are charging somebody a subscription price, like to enter your service, you shouldn't then gate some of that content behind an additional paywall. Like, that is bananas. Become a pirate, no waiting. That is a reasonable alternative. Yeah, just pirate it. But I can also just wait. I mean, I do have a Disney Plus account, which again, I don't pay for. I am one of those people who just writes somebody else's subscription for both Netflix and Disney Plus. I'm one of those kind of people. That being said, I do provide this friend of mine with a with cloud storage subscription, which is about worth as much actually. So it's a pretty fair trade, and it's unlimited. I love Google Drive so much. It's now called Google something else, I think. I'm still gonna keep calling it Google Drive. I fucking love it. I think it's bullshit how they like have something set up. Okay, let me get into this, because Google Drive, as just a person, if you have a Google account and you want to pay for storage, you get 15 gigabytes absolutely for free. That's quite a lot. And all the documents and stuff you make in that are totally free. They don't take up any space. You can have a like 100 gigabyte spreadsheet, in which case if you have a 100 gigabyte spreadsheet, holy fuck. But you could have that and it wouldn't take up any of the space of your storage. It's literally only files that take up that storage space. And I think if you let them compress your photos, they don't even take up any space in those 15 gigabytes. It's literally only files. Which I know that files you upload, right? So that is a real, like, nice, like, free hook for people. Then having 100 gigabytes is like €2 a month. Then a terabyte is, I think, €10 a month. And then it's, it scales pretty linearly from there. I think 2 terabytes is 20 and so on and so forth. You better get Mark Punch. There we go. Okay, so we may actually be able to do something now. I'm gonna get rid of the leech seed. But that becomes very expensive very quickly, right? Because at this point I have like 7 terabytes in the cloud as backup. It's not even backup, it's honestly just like archive. It's both. Because I send everything I do for both work and YouTube. Everything I do gets archived into the cloud. So that adds up very quickly. Again, it's at about 7 terabytes now. I don't know why I'm going back into the grass. I'm going into the gym. But if you're a business, you can get a Google Business subscription, which is unlimited cloud storage. It's just unlimited cloud storage, and it's €10 per account per month. So I'm paying for 3 accounts, which is €30 a month. I'm paying for the admin account, for my own account, which could be the same. I just made a mistake there. Sure, I'm too lazy to fix it. And at this point, I would have to migrate over 7 terabytes of data as well. So I'm just going to keep paying an extra 10. And maybe at some point, if I want to expand even more, it'll be nice to have a separate admin account as well. And then for my friend, I also like pay $10 a month for that. So I'm paying $30 a month for 3 separate accounts, which all have unlimited cloud storage. There is a limit. Now, there is a limit. You cannot upload more than 700 gigabytes per day per account. My internet speed wouldn't even allow me to upload 700 gigabytes in a single day. It is insane. And it's also highly upsetting that you need to have a business account to get that deal. Because if I were to, if I wanted to have the amount of storage I have right now on a normal Google Drive account, I would be paying $100 a month for that. And I'm paying 30. I could be paying like 10 or 20. It is ridiculous. Still, I'm happy to have my archive that way. I'm gonna go for Simba because I'm hoping you have dry skin. You definitely do not have dry skin. I guess we try to Mark Punch you and we win. See, Mark Punch helped a lot. The Roulette Badge heightens the attack power of your Pokemon. It also enables you to use the HM move Cut outside of battle. We weren't even able to use it yet. What's more, I have another favor for you. Another thing. It contains Double Team. I literally do not give a shit. Let's go to the Pokemon Center and end the stream. Congratulations! I've heard that you've gotten 2 badges now. Well done. Vlogger, I guess you're not only gifted scientist, but also a talented trainer. Maybe you can earn all 8 badges quicker than... No, we're probably going to get like 1 more badge next week, and that's going to be it. Do you know where the next destination is? I think it would be in Narcissus Town. Did I pronounce it correctly? I don't know. Where you can earn your next gym badge. Thanks, Vlogger. You really helped me a lot. By the way, don't forget to check out the ruins in the town. I heard that something there is about Mega Evolution has been found. Grammar. Difficult. I wish this will help you researching. Okay, I'll ring off. Okay, so I better check the town map and find out where that is. I'm going to try to remember that. I'm not going to remember that. At least I'll know that I have to use Cut to proceed. Like from a design perspective, that makes sense. It's been a good stream. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm also very tired now. Because again, it's been a rough week. So I'm do send me a message on Discord again about the game you told me to check out for a members video. I don't know when I'll get around to doing it. But do send me a message so that I have the title of the game, because otherwise I will forget. See you back next week with the last stream of this game, presumably. I don't know what next month's run will be. Bye!